Hi guys, welcome to the in-depth review of the 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV GT Super All-Wheel Control. As you can see, this car has, well, it's an SUV, but I'm just going to call it a car. It has the LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, LED fog lights, but incandescent turn signals. The hood emblem is an option where it says Outlander. It's available as a chrome or black finish, gloss black, but I went for the chrome. You will see that the turn signals are also integrated into the side mirrors. It's there you go, you can see now. You have the plug-in hybrid EV badge on both the front fenders. 18-inch wheels wrapped in 225/55/18 rubber. It's a very attractive SUV, crossover actually. LED tail lights with incandescent turn signals. PHEV badge on the right under Outlander. And the Super All-Wheel Control badge under Mitsubishi. Now what makes it different is so there's a regular all-wheel control, all-wheel drive system that Mitsubishi has, and then there's the Super All-Wheel Control, and the difference is that the regular all-wheel control is a slip and grip all-wheel drive system where when the front wheels slip, the rear grip, but the Super All-Wheel Control actually adds torque vectoring to it. Now, Super All-Wheel Control is standard on all PHEV models, but if you get a non-hybrid model, it's only available on the GT trim. Here you will find the charging ports. I left the lid open because when the car is running, it's locked for safety. So I unlocked it, so I don't have to go in and turn the car off. To the left, you will see the J1772 port, also known as the level 1 charging port. The level 1 charger comes with the car and charges from 0 to full in 8 hours. The same port uses the level 2 charger, which you have to buy optional, or you can charge at a public station, either free or paid, depending on where you are, and that will charge from 0 to full in 3.5 hours. This is what makes this Outlander PHEV so special, and I'll tell you why in a bit. So this is the level 3 charger. This is the CHAdeMO port, and it will charge from 0 to 80% in 25 minutes. That's what they say officially, but I was able to do it in 19 minutes. So I guess depending on what kind of power you're getting, and those level 3 chargers, I mean, you can get them installed at home if you want to. It will cost you, I don't know, $10,000-$15,000, but nobody installs them. People generally just install the level 2 chargers at home. The shark fin antenna up top. Again, the second badge that I was talking about. Let's take a look at the trunk. Power tailgate, also only available on the GT trim. Very generous trunk space. The Rockford Fosgate subwoofer, again only available on the GT trim, is the 710 watt premium audio system. Your 1500 watt outlet to run your appliances when you're camping. Your privacy cover to hide your valuables so nobody can break your window and steal them. The level 1 charger, as you can see, it's still unused. I didn't even bother opening them. Okay, your jack and your fix-a-flat kit. If there's a jack, I'm guessing there's a spare tire, but I'm not sure. And I didn't look for it, to be honest. Oh, you also have cup holders right there. Now, let's hop inside. So I'm gonna turn the hazard off. Okay, by the way, fun fact about the... actually, I'll get to the fun facts when I'm driving. Let's go through the interior of the Outlander. So as you can see, you see soft cushioning, leather cushioning on the door. Looks very nice. Very nice forward trim. This one has the black interior with the gray piping and stitching. Looks very nice. This is the high resolution 7-inch display, and you can see the Rockford Fosgate sticker up top on the left. It's a very easy to use system, very straightforward. So you can just swipe using your finger like that, or you can just use these arrows on either side. So even though it says GPS over here, the car doesn't really have factory navigation. This is just going to give you your coordinates. For navigation, you're going to have to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which is what people prefer anyways. My favorite, oh, and this is the apps icon, where basically you will tap to launch your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, or you can just tap here, both options. My favorite icon or option is this one, the energy flow. I really like this animation when you're driving. So it gives you how and where the energy is flowing. So as you can see, the 31 kilometers of EV range is what I'm getting right now, or what I have. I've only depleted 1 bar of the battery, and the total cruising range is 343 kilometers. This is between the gas and the EV. So once the EV range is depleted, the gas engine will kick in, and we'll talk about more of that in detail later. So below that, you see the hazard button and the eco. When you turn on eco, it will basically restrict your throttle response. Not very much, you probably won't even notice, and it will restrict your climate control. Down below, these are all climate controls. Here, you will see your button for the heated steering wheel, blind spot monitoring, and to enable or disable the 1500 watt inverter. Your push button start is right behind this right lever over here. This is the gauge cluster. Now, if you look at this charge section here, this is when you are braking. So basically, regenerative braking is what shows here, or in other words, people call it brake regeneration, whatever you want to call it. So when you take your foot off the brake or you apply brakes, this is where the needle will move. Eco is where you're driving in your EV mode only, and power is when the engine kicks in. To the right is your standard speedometer. In the middle, we will go through the menu quickly. So here are the 3 buttons. This is what controls your menu. So when I press this repeatedly, the options in the middle will change. So right now it's showing me pretty much what it was showing right here, the 31 kilometers and the 343 kilometers of total range. So in case you have Android Auto running here, you can see that information here. And because I've been driving in the EV mode only, it says 100% EV driving, no gas obviously, so 0 liters per 100 kilometers. This is again a similar but smaller and more concise animation of the same thing, of the energy flow. So that shows you an engine, a tire, and the batteries, basically just showing how, again, if you have the Android Auto running on the 7-inch display, you can just toggle here and come to this screen and see what's going on. This is a tree, and the more eco-friendly you're driving, you earn leaves. This shows how the power is being distributed using the intelligent all-wheel drive system, or the super all-wheel control. Oh, this is telling you that I have 6 months or 11,300 kilometers to service. And you can just go into further details, further settings here inside. So I picked up the car and it had 12 kilometers on it. So I reset the trip meter. That's why you see 728 down below. And 715.5 is what I've actually driven since I picked it up a week ago, almost 100 kilometers a day. And you can see how much gas I've used. quarter tank, because I've been charging the car very regularly. So I charge it overnight, and then when I get out in the morning, I have 35. Depending if I'm using the air conditioning, then it's going to be around 35. If I turn it off, I've gotten up to 55 kilometers of range, but then a lot of factors will affect it. So the more you charge, the more you're gonna use EV, and the less you're gonna use fuel. If I'm out and about and I'm using EV, and on my way back home I see that I don't have enough range, I'll stop by at a charging station, charge it, and then come home. And there are a lot of free charging stations around the city. So top left, you will see it says normal. So when I press Eco, you will see that it changes to Eco. When I press it again, it comes back to normal. Now, let's talk about this. This is your traction control, and this is your headlight level. At 0, it is at the highest, and if you scroll below at 4, it is at the lowest setting. So depending on high or low you want your headlights. This car also is equipped with automatic high beams. So when you're driving at night, all you have to do is press this button here, and it will enable the automatic high beams. And you see how there's an A now. Let me turn it off again. There you go. So right under ready, you will see the blind spot monitoring indicator that it's enabled. So once I press this button right here on the left lever, it will turn this automatic high beam on. So it basically is telling us that the system is enabled. Here, this is the front collision mitigation system. So if I tap this, it says near, far, and middle. So how far do you want to be from the car ahead of you before you get a warning? So what I do is I set it to middle, just to be on the safe side. It's not because I don't want warnings all the time, so it's not too close, not too far either, so middle is good. Lane departure warning. Now it's just a warning. It's a passive system. So when you drift out of your lane, it's not going to bring you back. It's just going to warn you, audible warning. And also visual. Powered liftgate, and this is your button to open the fuel filler lid. Oh, by the way, so the fuel filler lid is on the driver's side, and the charging ports are on the passenger side. Coming to the electronic shifter, this is a single speed transmission. I don't know why a lot of journalists call it CVT, but officially, if you go to the Mitsubishi Canada website, they will say that it's a single-speed transmission. So, as you can see from the diagram below, you pull it to the left and front, and it goes into reverse. And you see your backup camera here and the bird's eye view over here. On the steering wheel to the left, there's this camera. If you push this, it will enable the right camera, so you can see the right of the car, and then you press it again and you get the bird's eye view again. Now you push it to the left and back, and you get in D, and you can see, and you can start driving. Now if you push it back, it enables regenerative braking. Now keep in mind, you cannot come straight to B, you have to go through D. And this is your park. So now that we're in park, let me just push the brakes and pull this back, and see nothing's happening. You have to go into the D first, and then you can go into the regen mode. Save is if your battery is fully charged and you are driving, let's say, somewhere far, and you know that you will deplete your EV range, and eventually you're going to get to the city. So what you want to do is, if you want to, so you know, as we know, the car is the most efficient when we're driving on the highway. So you press this, and the car does not use the EV range, and it uses the hybrid system instead. And because we're driving highway, it's going to be the most efficient. Once you get to the city, you press EV. Now it starts using the EV range, and in the city, the gas engine is not efficient, but the electric range will be. Charge is, if you press this, the engine will be running the car, also charging the batteries. Obviously, if you're out of juice. Four-wheel drive lock. So this is not your traditional all-wheel drive system. It's a four-wheel drive system, and you can engage. So if you don't have this locked, it is an all-wheel drive system where it's smart. It's only running the front wheels, and if the front slip, the rear grip. Or if you're going around that corner, and because this has the torque vectoring, it will send the power to the rear wheels. And what else makes it smart is like the difference between all-wheel control and the super all-wheel control is that in all-wheel control it can only send the power from front to rear, and in the super all-wheel control it can send that power that it sends to the rear left to right depending on where you're turning to help you get around that corner. And if you're, let's say, stuck in sand or snow, you can engage this. Now it will force all four wheels to run and get you out of that mess. This is your electronic brake, and this is your auto hold. For those of you who don't know, it's basically the an option that when enabled, when you come to a stoplight or just a stop sign, or you're just stopped, you don't have to keep your foot on the brake. You do it once, and then you take it off, and it will hold the brake for you. Both the front seats are heated, so you have two settings, high and low. You have these cup holders, and they can hold a large cup. You can see there are large cubbies on the side. It can hold a 1 liter bottle easily of a soft drink. Glove box, you can see your usual stuff here, your paperwork, and another section up here where I keep the owner's manual. The center console, it's not too big. It's kind of on the small side, but it works. In the mirror, you will see these 1, 2, 3 garage door openers, so you can configure them, and these are single touch operation. You just have to press them once and the door will open or close. You don't have to press and hold. Your map lights and your control for the sunroof. This is the second row, and as you can see, it's very generous. The driver's seat is adjusted for me at 5'6", and as you can see, I have easily about 10 inches of legroom. So anybody at even 6 feet height would be comfortable. I'm not sure if anybody taller than 6 foot would be comfortable, but this should be. This is a better view of the interior. I think it's nice. It works. Obviously, it could be improved. But it's decent. It's grown on me. When I first looked at it, I really didn't like it, but it's grown on me now. So, oh yeah, there's also a digital compass in the mirror. So, and your sunroof. So now let's take it for a spin. Auto hold enabled, parking brake disabled, engaged D mode, engaged regenerative braking, and I'm going to turn the AC on because I can trade comfort for range. I mean, I can trade range for comfort, or sacrifice range for comfort. Okay, so I was telling you that there are 4 fun facts about this vehicle, the Outlander PHEV. Actually, make that 5. This is the world's first plug-in hybrid electric vehicle SUV or crossover. This is also the world's #1 selling SUV or crossover, which is a plug-in hybrid. This is also the least expensive plug-in hybrid crossover that you can buy in Canada as of September 2018. And this is the only plug-in hybrid crossover that comes with a level 3 connector. So there is no other crossover at any price today that has the DC fast charger or the level 3 connector or the charging port that will charge it from 0 to 80 in 25 minutes. You can get the Porsche Cayenne for $100,000 plus. You can get the Volvo XC60, again, very expensive. It can go up to, depending if it's fully loaded, it can go easily up to $90,000. And they have a maximum level 2 charger, which will take hours to charge. So yeah, these are the fun facts about this vehicle. Now let's get into the driving impressions. As you can see, the animation, I'm driving right now on the highway at 100 kilometers an hour on EV only. So these are the batteries, and you can see the flow of the energy going to both the axles, running all 4 wheels. Batteries only. This is the engine, and it's gray, which means it's not working right now. When I take my foot off the brake, because the regeneration is active, you will see the flow of the energy going from the wheels back to the battery. So basically, the kinetic energy is being converted and sent back to the batteries. Now, I can also enable, so I don't have to go to drive using, I have to go to drive using the shifter, but I don't have to go to regeneration using the shifter. I can just use the paddle shifters. So I can go to the D, as in drive, and then just modulate the paddle shifters to go into the regeneration. Now it has 6 levels from 0 to 5, and if you can see, by modulating the right one, I go down. So from 5 I came to 0, and 0 is actually coasting. So if I take my foot off the brake, you will see there is no regeneration because the car is now coasting. Using my right hand, if I flick these paddle shifters, B1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 being the most aggressive. Most aggressive for this. It's not really aggressive to the point where it will bring you to a complete stop. Yeah, so this is how you modulate. By the way, these paddle shifters, beautiful. They're not plastic. They're metal. Big metallic paddle shifters. Very nice. Now, let's talk about the 3 driving modes. Actually, make that 5. Truly, there are 3 driving modes. EV, series hybrid, and parallel hybrid. The other 2 would be like the normal and the eco. But that's different. Let's stick to the 3 driving modes. So the EV, self-explanatory, it's EV only. Oh, by the way, you can see how the AC is running, and we came to a complete stop, and there's no energy being wasted. If I turn the AC off, now truly there is no energy being wasted. Okay, maybe a little bit for the lights and everything, but that's negligible. But again, let's turn the AC on. So once the EV range is depleted, depending on your driving conditions, the series hybrid mode will kick in. Now, what is that? Basically, in simple words, the engine is not driving the car. It's acting as a generator, creating electricity and sending it to the electric motors, and the motors are running the car. So basically, technically, the car is still driving in the EV mode, but it doesn't have the charge in it, the juice in it, so the engine is creating electricity for it. Under hard acceleration, it will, or you're going uphill, or again, depending on the driving conditions, it will switch from series hybrid to a parallel hybrid mode, which is basically the traditional hybrid system where the engine is acting the wheels and the electric motors are assisting it. Now, how do you know what's going on? Looking at this animation again, so you see how the energy flow is from the batteries to the wheels right now. When the series hybrid mode kicks in, the engine, which is gray right now, as in idle, as in not working, it will turn blue, and the energy flow will be going from the engine to the batteries. That's series hybrid. And when the parallel hybrid mode is engaged, the engine will turn orange. And as you can see, the wheels are blue right now. You will see the energy flow going from the engine to the wheels directly, and the engine and the wheels, the front wheels, will both be orange, basically telling you that the engine is powering the wheels directly. At the same time, the engine will be sending power to the batteries too, so basically charging the batteries and running the wheels. These are what the three driving modes are. Now let's talk about the driving itself. If you can hear anything or not, it's because the cabin is really, really quiet. And that's really the highlight of this car. Well, there's another highlight, I'll get to it. The engine is very quiet, and that's what you're paying for. You're paying for that technology. This car is not cheap, we'll get to that too. It has a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine rated at 117 horsepower. They could have gotten more power from it, but performance is not the mission here. Efficiency is the mission. So 117 horsepower from a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, 2 electric motors, one on each axle, one at the front, one at the back, 80 horsepower each. Total system output 197 horsepower. I know 80, 80, and 117 don't add up to 197. But here's the thing. Electric motors and the engine, they reach their peak horsepower at different RPMs. And where they intersect, that number is 197. That is my understanding. Now, it does not feel sluggish or underpowered at all, especially not in the EV mode. And not at all. It's very peppy. It's fun to drive. It's quiet. It's brisk. But under hard acceleration, it will take more energy. So if you're in EV mode, you can go on the highway. But I'm doing 120 kilometers, which I did, and you saw it only used the batteries. But it's because I was very gentle in accelerating. I got on the ramp, and then I gradually accelerated to highway speeds. But if you just step on the gas, the engine will kick in because you're demanding more power. So now the batteries are working, the engine is working, but why do that? You don't get something like this for performance or throwing around the corners. You get this for just cruising around town and for fuel efficiency, and you have room for 5 and enough cargo space to go on a trip. It's quiet, the ride is comfortable, but it's not boaty, not floaty, which is something I like. Generally, crossovers that are not sporty, they have a soft suspension, which I'm glad that it doesn't. The suspension is kind of towards the firm side, and coming from a sports sedan, I like that, because when you're going around corners, you don't feel any body roll. I don't, at least. And you do feel the road imperfections. Now, people who want to feel connected to the car, they will like it. Some may not and might feel it's unrefined, but then again, that's a preference. I like it. I like the suspension setup. It's really good. Price. In the Canadian marketplace, the top of the line PHEV GT trim is $58,787 all in, taxes, air tax, this and that. This is MSRP before any discounts. So if you can negotiate a good price with your dealer, so that's up to you, but this is the sticker price. I know in my previous video, the day I picked it up, I said it was $60,402. That's because of the additional options like the lease protection, or they call it the protection package, and the hood emblem, things like that. So basically, it added up to that number. But otherwise, if you get just a car and you include taxes on the Canadian Mitsubishi website, it is $58,787. Now, It's not cheap, but again, it's the cheapest option you can buy today when it comes to plug-in hybrids, plug-in hybrid SUVs. This is the least expensive option. Now, the highlight of the car that I was talking about was, or is, when you usually get the plug-in hybrid or hybrid version of a regular vehicle, you sacrifice space, whether it's the second row passenger space or the trunk space. That is not the case here. You can go and get a non-hybrid Outlander non-hybrid Jesus Christ. You can get a non-hybrid Outlander and get a PHEV Outlander, and you will not sacrifice on anything at all. So you get the same cargo space, you get the same passenger space, and really that is one of the biggest benefits you can get. So there's really no sacrificing here. You're getting the space, you're getting the trunk space, you're getting the passenger space, you're getting great fuel economy. And as you can see, I've driven 723 kilometers now in a week of having it, and I've only used a quarter of a tank. That's amazing. The other day I was driving to see a friend who was about 60 kilometers away. So after depleting 38 kilometers of EV range, the car turned into, the engine came on, and the car started driving in the series hybrid mode. And I saw him when we met, and I just plugged in the car because we met at a charging station, and I had another 35 kilometers to come home. And when I obviously halfway home, I ran out of the juice again, and I drove the car and it kept switching between parallel and series because I was driving highway. And when you're highway driving, it will need that extra power, and sometimes the parallel hybrid will come on. Now, the fuel economy that I saw after the engine came on was a max of 2.5 liters per 100 kilometers. 2.5 liters for a 5-seater crossover with all-wheel drive. That's insane. That's highly efficient. So what's the takeaway? Is it expensive compared to a base model Outlander? Yes. But when it comes to PHEVs, no. And I've actually been enjoying it. I really liked it, and that's why I got it. But after driving for a week, I love it. I really do. This is what's going to happen now. I hope I covered everything, but in case I didn't, please leave a comment below. If you have any question, please leave it in the comment section, and I will make a video. If I don't have the answer, I will find it out and make a video of it. I have been posting videos for a while now, and my subscribers have been growing, and it's all thanks to you guys. I appreciate your support. Please keep subscribing. Please keep watching my videos. Keep liking them. Please share them, and please leave a comment below, and I'd be happy. I read all the comments, and I respond to them the moment I see them, as quickly as possible. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, because I'm going to be making a series of videos for this vehicle because it's so interesting. I'm going to make a video when I run out of the tank to show you guys how many kilometers I got out of the first tank. I'm going to make videos on how much EV range, real life EV range I've been getting, how much real life fuel economy I've been getting between the both, and about the infotainment system, and about the remote control app of the that comes of the Mitsubishi remote control app that connects with the car. So it's going to be a series of videos now coming on. So stay tuned. Please subscribe and hit that the notification icon so you're notified when the new video is published. Thanks for watching.